Over the past few years, car prices in America have surged to levels that many would have thought unthinkable a decade ago. The average car price is now hovering close to $50,000, representing a startling 30% increase from just 5 years ago. Basic models that would once have been considered affordable are now priced above $50,000, and for many, this has become the new normal. Monthly payments are also at near record highs, with some models now exceeding the $100,000 mark, leaving many consumers feeling the financial strain. Even more concerning is the rising number of car owners who are underwater, meaning they owe more on their car loans than their vehicles are actually worth. Stay tuned as we dive deep into the reasons behind the astronomical rise in car prices, exploring the industry's past, its present struggles, and the challenges it faces in the future. So despite the alarming trends, automakers have largely resisted producing cheaper cars. With profit margins slim and production costs rising, the industry is facing a complex web of challenges. The arrival of inexpensive Chinese cars has further intensified the debate, especially as these vehicles face hefty tariffs and the threat of increased competition in the American market. What's more, the rise of EVs, with their hefty price tags, and the economic pressures created by the pandemic have only added to the affordability crisis. To fully understand why American cars are so expensive, we must first acknowledge the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the automobile industry. The pandemic triggered widespread production shutdowns, disrupted global supply chains, and exacerbated a host of other pre-existing issues in the automotive sector. As production slowed, dealers raised prices and automakers followed suit, compounding the affordability crisis that many consumers now face. While car prices have started to come down from their pandemic-era highs, they remain well above pre-pandemic levels. The rise in prices, especially for new vehicles, has been driven by a combination of supply chain bottlenecks, increased demand for personal vehicles, and limited inventory. The effects of these disruptions are still felt today as automakers continue to struggle to keep up with demand, while customers face inflated prices that are difficult to justify. One of the biggest factors driving up car prices in America is the rise in popularity of sport utility vehicles, SUVs. SUVs have become a dominant force in the American car market, with their share of total sales rising from about 30% in 2009 to more than 50% in 2019. In many ways, the American consumer's preference for bigger vehicles, particularly SUVs and trucks, has become a defining characteristic of the automobile market. SUVs are more expensive than traditional sedans, and as a result, they have contributed significantly to the overall rise in car prices. Ford's EcoSport, for example, was priced about $4,500 higher than the company's Fiesta, despite both vehicles sharing the same platform. This price differential is due in part to the increased production costs associated with larger vehicles, as well as the increased demand for features like all-wheel drive, higher ground clearance, and advanced safety technologies. Americans' growing preference for larger, more feature-rich vehicles is not just a passing trend. It has fundamentally altered the way automakers approach vehicle production. In a world where consumers increasingly prioritize comfort, performance, and technology over affordability, automakers have responded by focusing on high-margin, high-priced vehicles like SUVs and trucks. The result? Cars that are far more expensive than they were a decade ago, with few affordable options remaining on the market. Another contributing factor to the rising cost of American cars is the shift in priorities among legacy automakers. In the past, American automakers like General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler focused on producing high volumes of vehicles at relatively low prices. This strategy allowed them to dominate the market, but it also meant that profit margins were often slim. Over the years, however, the landscape has changed, and automakers have adopted a different approach. In recent years, many American automakers have shifted their focus away from volume and towards profitability. This strategic pivot has been especially evident under the leadership of General Motors CEO Mary Barra, who has made it clear that the company's priority is to maximize profits, even if it means sacrificing volume. Other automakers like Fiat Chrysler, now Stellantis, have also followed suit, cutting high-volume, low-profit vehicles like sedans from their product lineups in favor of more profitable vehicles. This shift in focus has paid off for many automakers. In 2023, both GM and Ford posted record profits, while Stellantis also reported its best-ever financial results. However, the focus on profitability comes at a cost, namely affordability. By cutting back on the production of cheaper vehicles, automakers have left a gap in the market that is only widening as prices continue to rise. When it comes to understanding why American cars are so expensive, it's important to take a closer look at the costs involved in producing a vehicle. According to industry experts, about 70% of a vehicle's price goes toward direct production costs, such as materials, labor, and assembly. Another 20-25% is allocated to marketing, advertising, and other business expenses. The remaining 5-10% is typically considered profit. These slim profit margins are partly to blame for the high prices consumers are now facing. For automakers to remain competitive, they must find ways to balance production costs with the need to generate profits. This has become increasingly difficult as raw materials, labor, and regulatory compliance costs have risen. The shift towards electric vehicles, which require significant investment in new technology and infrastructure, has only added to the financial burden. One of the primary reasons why car prices have skyrocketed in recent years is the increasing reliance on high-tech features. Modern vehicles are equipped with a range of advanced technologies, from infotainment systems and driver assistance features to electric drivetrains and autonomous driving capabilities. While these innovations undoubtedly enhance the driving experience, they also come at a cost. As automakers strive to meet consumer demand for cutting-edge technology, the price of vehicles continues to climb. For example, the addition of autonomous driving features, advanced safety systems, and connected vehicle technologies can easily add thousands of dollars to the price of a car. While some of these features are necessary for meeting evolving safety and regulatory standards, others are simply added for consumer appeal, further driving up costs. As technology continues to advance, the price of vehicles will likely continue to rise. While some of this technology may eventually become more affordable as economies of scale kick in, there's no denying that the trend towards increasingly high-tech vehicles is a major factor behind the rising cost of cars in America. Electric vehicles have been hailed as the future of the automotive industry, offering a cleaner, more sustainable alternative to traditional gasoline-powered cars. However, despite the growing demand for EVs, these vehicles come with a significant price tag. The high cost of electric vehicles is primarily due to the expensive batteries that power them. While battery costs have been falling over the past few years, they still represent a significant portion of the total cost of an EV. In addition, automakers must invest heavily in new manufacturing processes and infrastructure to produce electric vehicles, further driving up costs. Despite these challenges, many automakers are doubling down on their investment in electric vehicles. Companies like Tesla have managed to reduce the cost of their vehicles through innovation and economies of scale, but other automakers have struggled to bring affordable EVs to market. As a result, the average price of an electric vehicle is still far higher than that of a comparable gasoline-powered car. The rise of inexpensive Chinese cars presents a significant challenge to American automakers. Chinese automakers have managed to keep costs low by taking advantage of cheap labor, government subsidies, and efficient manufacturing processes. These cost advantages have allowed Chinese car makers to produce vehicles that are often much cheaper than their American counterparts. In response to this competition, the US government has imposed tariffs on Chinese vehicles, which has helped to level the playing field to some extent. However, tariffs are a temporary solution at best. In the long run, American automakers will need to find ways to compete with Chinese manufacturers on price and efficiency, especially as Chinese companies like BYD and NIO continue to gain market share. So what does the future hold for American car prices? While it's difficult to predict exactly what will happen, there are a few trends that are likely to shape the industry in the coming years. First, the rise of electric vehicles will continue to be a major factor in shaping car prices. While EVs are currently expensive, technological advancements and economies of scale will likely lead to lower prices over time. As more automakers enter the electric vehicle market, competition will also help to drive prices down. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.